Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the college football show number 17 for 2021. And, hey, it's championship week.
It is championship week.
We got ourselves a championship football game in front of 20,500 screaming, beautiful fans. It sold out, by the way.
Did it really?
Sold out.
There you go.
Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas, South Dakota State Jackrabbits, and the Sam Houston State Bearcats. And it is going to be a fine time down in Texas. We are going to talk about that. That game is on Sunday. We got some other things that we want to get into first. We got hirings. It's May, but somehow we have hirings. And we have transfers. We have all kinds of things to talk about. This sport never ends. It's not the offseason. There is no offseason with college football. You all should know that by now. If you've been watching the show, obviously this is show number 17 for this season. We do one every week. If you've not already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you like the video. The algorithm helps us out, right? Whenever it gets to 50 likes, it really boosts this thing. It gets us in front of more fans and whatnot, and we would certainly appreciate if you would hit that thumbs up button and help boost it out there for sure. You can also do us a favor and visit sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. That is your one-stop shop for all of your college football gambling content. SBR has got all of it. Sportsbook Review has a fantastic crew, a bunch of good writers that all know their stuff. We can vouch for them. We'll tell you. They know what they're talking about. So go check it out. There is a link in the description. sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. You ready to dive in?
Yep, come on.
All right. Oh, hey, by the way, if you like what we're talking about, hit us up. You can obviously do so in the comments section down below, or you can reach out to us. We're on Twitter. I'm at GaryWCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
And you can also email us if you don't like doing all that new school stuff. If you don't have a YouTube account, if you don't have a Twitter account, you can email us. I'm Gary at winningcureseverything.com.
And I'm Chris at winningcureseverything.com.
Let's dive in, and this is my favorite topic of the week. Oh, my goodness, even more so than the championship game. Presbyterian, the Blue Hose. Did you know that was their name?
I did not know that was their name.
Hose. They have hired Kevin Kelley as their new coach. And if you listen to us talk about what Kansas should have done when they were hiring a coach a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, we said, you need to go hire the guy from Pulaski Academy over in Arkansas.
That's right.
Pulaski Academy has turned into a national power, and Kevin Kelley is the guy that did it by coaching specifically from analytics. He goes by what the numbers say you should do. He doesn't punt. He goes for two every time. He does onside kicks all the time. I mean, there's obvious things. If you're backed up at your own 5-yard line, 4th and 30.
Not in college. Not in high school he hadn't.
He even said he had done that a few times.
Nope, he does.
Either way.
He does not punt. 4th and 30 from his own 5, he does not punt because he assumes it. Now, this is statistics. His math says a punter in high school might get you 20 yards of field position.
That's a good point.
So wouldn't I rather take a chance at throwing the football, catching it, might get 15, 20 yards for that. But if I get a PI or if I get a defensive hold, if you get a defensive penalty on that play, it's an automatic first down. I don't need all 35 yards.
That's true.
I just need the first down. But the yardage you gain from attempting another play could be greater than your punting in high school.
That is true. I will tell you this. It is a completely different mindset, and nobody at the high school level has been able to catch up to him.
Nope.
I think this is the perfect...
Nobody has the balls to stay with it. They don't. They just don't.
No, you're 100% right. Because the old school football heads think this is how you got to do it.
That's
you
right.
got 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
David beat Goliath by breaking the rules.
Yes.
You were supposed to fight him man-to-man, hand-to-hand combat. David said, screw that. Give me this rock.
Yeah.
Put it in his sling. I'm going to put it in his forehead. Ball game.
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to fight that way. You're not supposed to play the game the way Mr. Kelley plays the game.
Well, because if you play the game the way that the bigger schools think you should, you're going to lose 100 times out of 100.
You lose them all. You might one day win one.
It's a very fun experiment. Presbyterian is a non-scholarship school. So he's not going to be going out and recruiting. And I mean, he can recruit, but it's guys that are going to want to be.
It's non-scholarship.
Yeah. So it's a whole different ballgame, but I love it. I think this is fantastic for the sport. It's FCS. We'll see if he can make it to the playoffs. There's all kinds of things that can happen here, but I am pumped about it. Moving on from there, let's talk about what Buffalo did. So we talked about one hire. Let's talk about Buffalo's hire. Obviously, Lance Leipold moves over to Kansas, takes a bunch of his staff with him. Buffalo was left trying to figure out, okay, it's May. What are we supposed to do here? They go and get Maurice Linguist, who is the former Michigan co-defensive coordinator. He was the Dallas Cowboys defensive backs coach last year. Let me give you an idea. He's 37 years old. He was an assistant at Buffalo 2012, 2013, right? So he was in his 20s when he was an assistant coach at Buffalo. Yep. Now, that was before Lance and whatnot. That was with Turner Gill and all that. He joined Harbaugh's new defensive staff at Michigan in January. 2014 to 15, he was at Iowa State as a DB's coach. 2016, he was a safeties coach at Mississippi State. 2017, Minnesota DB's coach. 2018 and 2019, under Mike Elko at Texas A&M with Jimbo. 2020, Dallas Cowboys. Now he is a head coach at 37 years old. This is a legit year zero situation. You're coming in May. Yeah. Like, you're not even going to get to meet your team.
And you got to build an entirely new staff.
Yeah, the finals have been done at Buffalo for a week now, maybe longer. So you got to build a staff. You're not going to get to meet your team until August. Like, you, obviously, if they want to come back and work out, voluntary workouts, as we always talk about, there's ways for him to meet the team. But all in all, he can't really practice with them. He can't do anything with them until August. And then you got a season that starts in September.
Yeah, he's gonna face a lot of problems.
This is almost an impossible situation.
Yeah. We'll see how good Wonder Boy is.
He's a wonder boy for sure. 37 years old, and he has been everywhere, man. I was shocked that he.
Do you
coached
think
at
it's
James
a
Madison.
Weird thing that he's basically had a bunch of 1-year, 2-year deals and then left all these places?
I do find it strange
because not all of those places are step ups.
No, I do find it weird. I mean, Iowa State to Mississippi State, you're probably making more money.
Yeah, that's a step up.
Well, so he's at Mississippi State in 2016. But then Dan Mullen leaves to go to Florida, and he goes to Minnesota with P.J. Fleck, and then he goes to A&M, and that's definitely a step up.
That's definitely a step up. That's the biggest job he's had. That's more than the Cowboys' job.
You think so?
Guaranteed.
I mean, cornerbacks coach at A&M?
I bet he made more. I bet he made more at A&M than he made with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones is the cheapest SOB on the planet.
You're probably right about that. It's strange. This doesn't even include, by the way.
He made his new head coach retain the entire staff from the last head coach.
Well, I mean, other than
because he did not want to pay out assistant coaching contracts because he doesn't think they matter.
Yeah, I could understand it. However, like I was saying, before this, he was at Buffalo for 2 years, 2012, 2013. Before that, he was at 2 different FCS schools. He coached at James Madison for 3 years.
Powerhouse.
Like, he's been coaching since he was like 23, 24 years old.
That's awesome. That's what you should be doing, by the way.
Yeah. And it's so weird to me that it's 2 years here, a year there, 3 years.
That's the only fly in this ointment.
Yeah.
Other than that, kid seems like he's got it all.
I don't know a lot about him. I do know that it makes me feel incredibly old, the fact that I am older than he is.
Yep. That's weird.
Is what it is.
Sorry.
All right.
It's just a jealousy thing. I'm okay with
that. For sure. All right, moving on from there. Texas linebacker Juwan Mitchell transfers to Tennessee. Now, this is a pretty big get for Tennessee. Obviously, they've had a bunch of guys transfer out. They need an influx of talent. The defense is not great.
I was about to say, they need defensive talent.
Yes.
That's what they needed.
And this guy led the Longhorns in tackling with 62 in 10 games last year. Was a 3-star coming out of high school and really boosted himself in that Longhorn defense. He was a 6'1", 230-pound senior from Newark, New Jersey. Registered 4.5 tackles for loss, 1 quarterback hurry, 1 pass breakup for the Longhorns last season. That came on the heels of a sophomore season. In 2019, he tallied 39 tackles, 3.5 for loss, 3 sacks, and 4 pass breakups. He's a dude. Yeah. So I think it's good.
What do you think about this transfer? What do you think the motives are for? Normally, I don't ask for motives for these kids because I think it's just playing time and opportunity or whatever.
I don't think that's what this is. Well, I mean, he was the leading tackler.
What do you think this is?
This, I think, is because he did it basically after spring. I think this is a Sark thing. Like, he may not have agreed with the new coaching staff that's coming in. They might have wanted to use him in a different way. There's any number of things. And there's, to their credit, there's not been a lot of rumors or anything come out about him. And because I looked at Horns 247, I looked at the Tennessee stuff. He was looking for a fresh start. And that's what he said, and that's what his parents said.
I wonder. So you're talking to somebody who doesn't know him at all.
Yeah,
anything about the situation. I'm just reading the tea leaves and making something up. It's either he was very close to Herman,
possibly,
and feels his old coach got a raw deal. The guy that recruited him got a raw deal, and I don't want to be a part of this team anymore. Or do you think it's the Eyes of Texas stuff, and he says, "Look, I'm out."
It's possible because there were a lot of transfers out of Texas after that, right? Yeah. Now, most of them
aren't guys that play all the time.
Agreed, but
that's the difference. This is the team leading tackler.
But also, well, I mean, there's what's the running back's name? That transferred to USC.
Oh, I cannot remember. Yeah. Okay, no,
Ingram.
Yeah.
So
Ingram,
Keontae Ingram.
He was big.
Most of the time when that stuff happens, when there's a coaching change or whatever, those guys will. If it's the Eyes of Texas stuff, they were getting out immediately after the season. You're not hanging around until after spring. I wonder if this was, hey, I'm going to check it out. We're going to try with this new coach.
Yeah, okay, you're probably right then. You're probably right. They made if it was something like that, they probably were leaving no matter what the situation was.
Yeah.
The fact that he stuck around long enough to kind of see the new situation.
I mean, cheers to him. Like, if it just didn't work for him, totally get it.
I'll tell you this. What he would have had to do at Texas to be a star compared to what he'd have to do at Tennessee to be a star, totally different. Yes. This guy comes into Tennessee and he starts making plays. They hadn't had anybody make plays in a long time, man. He is instantly like,
well, I think he's going to
build him a statue, baby. We need somebody to set this place on fire and get us excited.
I think he's going to take the place of the guy that we're talking about next. So let's go ahead and move on to that. That would be freshman All-SEC 2 years ago. Led the team in tackles last year. Henry To'oTo'o, the linebacker from Tennessee, is transferring to Alabama. This looks like a sign that the SEC is going to drop their interconference transfer rules, right? So it's been talked about for ever and ever, which is why I got it confused a few weeks ago with, I thought it was already done.
I thought it was too.
And so, but it looks like this summer that's going to be nixed at the team meetings in Destin and whatnot. So when the freak tight end that left for LSU to Eric Gilbert,
yeah. So LSU just allowed him to do that then, right? I didn't know that LSU had a choice in it. I just thought it was the rule that he could.
That's what I.
And I appreciate the fact that my school allowed him to do it because you know my feelings on this. You don't want to be here, leave. Nobody's under a contract right now, all right? Until we start getting checks and getting contracts and lawyers involved, you can walk away from this relationship anytime. You put a ring on that finger and you say some vows, now all of a sudden we got to get attorneys and we got to start splitting stuff up.
We got to split up some money.
That's different. That's different. Until you start getting contracts involved with these kids, Yeah. No, he can walk. As much as I hated to see him, and especially go to one of our rivals that we got to play every year, it still is right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still believe right is right and wrong is wrong, and that's what I think is right.
I
didn't know that it wasn't.
I'm not
an automatic rule in the SEC.
So it's not yet. It looks like it's going to be cleared up because the other team in the running for this was Ohio State. If you listen to Hank South at Bama Online, another 247 site, people have known that this was where To'oTo'o was headed for a while. If that interconference rule where he could play eligibility, if he could play immediately, if he could gain immediate eligibility, I'd try that 5 times fast. If he could do that, then he was going to go to Alabama because Nick Saban was kind of guiding them on where they would need to go. Like the player's father and Nick Saban have been talking almost nonstop because they were recruited by Alabama. He thought he would have more playing time at Tennessee. Now he realizes, hey, there is a spot open for me on that linebacking crew. I can go there and play immediately. But he would have done the same thing at Ohio State. Like he's going to be a stud. He had 72 tackles, 5 tackles for loss in 2019. He was all SEC Freshman of the Year. Led the team in tackles in 2020, 76 tackles. Alabama, with this transfer, is probably going to have the best outside linebacker and inside linebacker tandem in college football next year, which is a whole different thing than what they had last year, which was like the best wide receiver room, the best offense, whatever. This year, it's all going to be defense. They got 9 starters coming back. And now you bring in this kid, and it's a whole different thing. But yes, it was waiting it out to see what are they going to do, right? So the immediate transfer thing went through, so he doesn't have to sit for a year. and the SEC stuff is going to go through.
So because the NCAA has this rule that's already passed, conferences can still have their own rules that supersede that. See, I'm not a fan of that. I thought when the NCAA did their rule, it stuck it to Oklahoma. Everything? It stuck it to Oklahoma, and the kid that wanted to go to TCU could go and play immediately if he wanted.
Lincoln ended up allowing that one.
Oh yeah. No.
But the Big 12, I believe the interconference stuff is
our Lord and Savior Lincoln Riley.
Every conference is going through and knocking
grace
this out.
And mercy you show on us all, bastard.
Let's move on. Let's talk another news topic right quick, and I think a lot of people will be interested in this one. Arch Manning, next.
If you don't know it, you gonna know it.
That is 247 Sports Composite and top 247's number 1 rated passer in the 2023 class. He has set up June visits. They are locked in for Clemson, SMU, Texas, Alabama, and Georgia. So his recruitment, as of right now, pretty wide open, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, the 6'4", 208-pound Manning, who, by the way, was just a sophomore. Like, he'll be a junior this coming up. He will be a sophomore this season, right?
I was about to say he was a
2021,
freshman.
2022. Nope, sorry. He'll be a junior this year. 2022, he'll be a senior. And then he'll be a freshman in college, 2023. So, they are, they're going all over. They're camping at Clemson June 8th and 9th alongside his brother, Hyde Manning, who is a center, which, how funny is that? That's quite the tandem there. They head to Lone Star State the weekend after that. They're going to spend a day with SMU and then a couple more days with the Longhorns. Third weekend of June is going to be spent in Tuscaloosa. They're going to wrap up the month with a weekend in Athens. Now, that does not even include LSU. That doesn't include Tennessee. That doesn't include Ole Miss. He's knocking these out early. So my guess would be none of these are going to be the finale.
There's two places he's landing. This is a 2-horse race.
It's Ole Miss.
Right.
No.
It's Ole Miss
or LSU. Yeah.
I think he's either not leaving the state, and if he does, he's going to Oxford.
Josh Heupel would have to pull some kind of crazy magic, whatever, and I don't think he's got
Just some weird-ass voodoo.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, it's
I'm going to tell you, he's either not leaving the state or he's going to play for Lane.
I'll go ahead and give you a prediction. I think it's Lane.
Well, so here's the only caveat of that is there a world in which at that time Lane might not be around?
It's possible. I guess maybe Lane will be back at Tennessee.
No, that ain't happening. But I think Heupel's
you never know.
Fine. I think Heupel's gonna be fine.
I think he will be too. But you never know.
But you can say that. I think this guy is pretty grounded and pretty close to family. I think being close to home is a big deal.
It might be. I will tell you this: it will depend a lot on what the offense looks like at LSU. Obviously, they got a new offensive coordinator.
I think the offense can look like whatever the hell he wants it to, because at that point in time, they'll just hire whoever they want.
New offensive coordinator for LSU in 2023 will be Cooper Manning.
I don't know that he wants his dad to be the OC, but I would bet they would get to pick it. And I'll bet they would pick up the phone and tell them, you need to leave the job you're at and you need to come coach my boy to a Heisman Trophy and a national championship.
Yeah. Maybe be the high school coach. You never know.
So
you never know.
I would venture to say that phone calls will be made and somebody will get a job that doesn't have a job currently.
You might be right about that. You might be right. Maybe David Cutcliffe is out at Duke. He retires and then he comes back down to LSU.
To OC?
That maybe.
I don't know that I like David's offense. He hasn't really grown with the.
Oh, absolutely not. But he can coach.
He can't scheme an offense anymore. Not in today's football.
You never know.
Go play for Lane if that's going to happen.
I'll tell you what, the next 2 years are going to be nuts. Going to be nuts with this recruitment. So
yes.
Let's move on from there. And you're talking about people making phone calls and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now, we heard a lot of this name during the pandemic, of course, with the Big Ten trying to get the football season back going and whatnot. Barry Alvarez, former Wisconsin coach and soon-to-be former Wisconsin athletic director, he is being hired by the Big Ten Conference. He will be a liaison between the league and the league's football coaches, which is a strange job. They created this, I guess, specifically to have somebody that can report from the commissioner to the football coaches as opposed, and I can understand why they did it, because there was such a disconnect between the school presidents and the football coaches last year, and there's still somebody that's in between them, right? Because there's ADs that it's just a whole thing. Alvarez, what does he bring to the table? inaugural member of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee in 2014. Spent 3 seasons in that role until he was rotated off after the 2016 season. Been a proponent of CFP expansion, so that is certainly good. And in 2019 said the selection committee was not using its selection criteria when choosing which teams to place in the 4-team postseason. He also served as the Big Ten's return to competition task force last summer when the conference restarted the season after initially postponing to spring 2021. We like Barry Alvarez.
I like Barry Alvarez.
This is a weird one.
He's an icon in the sport, and he is a godfather of the Big Ten.
Yes.
The only negative I've ever had in him was last year. It didn't make sense to me that he didn't go to bat for his team when they had COVID issues for the rules to be changed or amended. But he went to bat for Ohio State. This is why. Yeah. He knew he was going to do this anyway, and he knew I got to do what's best for the Big Ten to get as much money as possible because they're about to start paying me.
Yep.
That's about to be my employer. It still rubs me a little wrong.
I kind of felt
I can't imagine being an active athletic director and not fighting for my school, but fighting for a school that is a rival, a competitor, somebody not my school to get a benefit that I didn't fight for my school. That doesn't make any sense to me. And I understand it's they have more to gain for the whole good of the conference. We'll all make more money. But it
still feels weird.
At some point in time, you should be fighting for your school.
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you.
He'll do a great job there because
I think so.
Really good at all the things that he does.
Yeah. And with this, there is absolutely zero chance that he ever becomes interim coach again anywhere else. So, yeah. I mean, that's, he has been known to pop back in and coach a bowl game here and there, even as the AD. But that
not anymore.
Not anymore. That is long gone. You want to have a little fun?
Come on.
We like to do some of these lists. We like to do some rankings and whatnot here and there, and we typically have a really good time with these. And this is one that we won't really get heated about, I think. Like, we can have fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
And we can get passionate about what we like and what we don't like. But this is a completely opinionated list. And this is about the 10 best helmets in college football. And we're not going to spend a whole long time, but I would love to hear from you guys if you would jump into the comments section or, again, reach out to us on Twitter. I'm at Gary WCE.
I'm at Crispy Giannini.
And you can tell us whether you agree with our lists, what we got right, what we got wrong, who we should have included, etc. But we will go ahead. I'm going to go from 10 on down. Do you have 10 that you?
I've got 12, but yeah, I can start with 10. I've got two.
We'll start with
mentions.
10. I didn't even put my honorable mentions because I could have a lot of honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I didn't put Alabama on here. Alabama will be my honorable mention. Penn State, honorable mention because it's about as plain as it gets, but I love the classic feel, right? So whatever.
Okay, that's fine.
My number 10 helmet will be South Carolina's black helmet with the C and the Gamecock logo in it.
Yeah, the matte black.
I think that is a gorgeous football helmet.
Yeah. I like black. I like black. There aren't a lot of black helmets out there.
There's not, but I got a couple of them in here. So
okay, all right. I don't have that one.
I love black helmets. I don't know
so now I've got a 3-horse choice for my number 10, and I'm gonna go with Florida State. I like Florida State's helmet. I like the strong arrowhead.
Yeah, the
spearhead on there. I think that's strong. I like the gold color. I don't have LSU's on there. I wish they would just sell it and go gold. Like I don't like that yellow color.
I like the yellow.
It's fine.
Yellow and purple. Well,
I love purple. If
they did more, might have it on here.
If they did more purple, I would be with it. But the Florida State Seminoles helmet, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of. I'm going to give that my number 10.
My number 9 is Coastal Carolinas.
Holy crap!
Their black Shantz helmet.
All right,
love that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Coastal Carolina, number 9 as well. So we'll have that one together. That's crazy that we both had it at 9. I bet we have a lot of the same helmets.
What
are the chances that one's at the same number? That's weird.
That is a little strange. But Coastal Carolina, I do love those helmets. The black ones, the Shant logo on it. I mean, that Chanticleer logo is phenomenal. So for all of you that are over in
with a set of balls on it.
Hey, how about that? 2 South Carolina helmets to start us off.
There you go. That's good. That's good.
My number 8 here is your LSU Bayou Bengal Tigers.
That.
I really like the gold helmets, the yellow helmets, with the LSU and the tiger head and whatnot. It's got the LSU writing.
I don't hate
over the top.
By the way.
The color scheme, obviously, of the school purple and gold.
I love the color scheme.
It's very Mardi Gras. It's very have a good time. It's fiesta. It's celebration.
I have always been a more purple dominant with gold accent than gold dominant with purple accent. But that
makes sense.
But that's my opinion, my feelings. But no, I love the LSU helmet. It's just not. It didn't make the top 10. It probably wouldn't have made the top 25. My number 8 is Hawaii. Man, I love that helmet.
Wait, are you talking about the H?
Yeah,
like
with the H with all the Polynesian markings all the way through it. Oh man,
that is a beautiful helmet.
I think that's awesome. I think it's strong. I just think it looks really good.
I do like that. It reminds me so much. Every time I see that helmet, I think of the June Jones days, right? I have a blast.
Was probably my favorite time of watching Hawaii football in my life. Yeah.
Aside from our boy Rolo.
Yeah, but
June Jones.
June Jones was doing it. Here's the thing. When they made the Sugar Bowl, I was young and naive enough to believe they really had a shot.
Oh, yeah.
That's the difference, all right? I was watching Hawaiian with June Jones, and I actually believed that this team could compete. That was the difference. Is now I watch Rolo. I love Rolo, but I see the ceiling, so it doesn't have the magic.
That makes sense. Number 7 for me, Stanford.
Okay.
The white with the chrome S on it.
I'm okay with that.
I like the chrome one because it's, for whatever reason, it shines right.
It changes the color of the red.
Yeah. The original Stanford helmet, pretty good. But with that chrome on it, there's just something about that helmet that I really appreciate. So Stanford's number 7 for me.
My number 7 is East Carolina.
I can get down with the pirate.
You know, they got kind of like a chrome purple look, like it's a real high gloss.
You have to specify the chrome one because the other one is just a regular helmet.
Yeah, just a regular helmet. And then the logo of the pirate on that helmet is pretty gnarly and it's big, and I like that.
Number 6 for me, Ole Miss, the baby blue with the red writing. I am quite the fan of that one. I think the Ole Miss baby blue helmets, the baby blue uniforms, probably the best uniforms out there.
Yeah, they're up there.
I don't know that it's close.
They're definitely up there. And they might be the winner. My number 6 is Arkansas. I like
the chrome,
the hog,
the new chrome, or
I think I like the regular matte
just
helmet.
The logo.
I like the logo. I like the listen. Hang on, there's a million tigers, a bunch of different birds, a bunch of different Native Americans, there's a bunch of different type of people. They're a hog, man. Warthogs are bad MFers, dude.
That's right.
Like, they are gnarly animals.
There's not another Razorback out there.
No.
So that makes sense.
I think it's cool looking, and I do like the maroon. I like it in chrome. I like it in the matte. I kind of like all of them as long as they use the logo. I don't care when they do the little weird cursive like A.
Yeah.
Like, that's boring to me. Listen, come on. We know what Arkansas starts with. We're not that dumb. Okay. We know how to spell Arkansas.
You got a valid point. Number 5 for me, you brought up spearheads and whatnot. Arizona State.
Yeah.
They're black with the gold and red spear on it.
The black one. Oh,
it's a gorgeous helmet. And that's a recent one, but I love that helmet, man. Like, I'm a massive fan of it.
Halloween's got to bring back
I wish they would wear this all the time. Like, because it's the Sun Devils and all.
I don't need it every game, but
I can use it every game.
Like every 3 home games.
Those yellow helmets, get them out of here.
Yeah,
give me the black helmets. Let's go.
I'm with you. My number 5 is UAB's helmet. I got that big ass dragon on there. It's gold helmet. It's gold and green. I like that color scheme. You know that.
Yeah.
And that dragon is awesome. That's a cool looking dragon.
It Blaze the Blazer or whatever, right?
Man.
Whatever his name is. I'd get down with that. I like that. My next one. Going a little bit back to the classic. I think you might make fun of me for this.
Boring.
Air Force. Their white helmet with the lightning bolt, the blue lightning bolt.
I just don't like it.
There's just something about that screams football to me. Like real deal, like dive in the mud. You know, I enjoy that helmet for whatever reason. Like the Navy and Army helmets are, just a regular color. And we can talk about the special uniforms and whatnot if we want to.
Well, and those change every year,
exactly.
So it's hard to throw those in there. Those are 1 and 2 of any list you do.
Air Force, I don't ever have to worry about that. It is always the same helmet.
Yeah, they should get a cooler helmet.
I like the white with the blue lightning bolt.
They should get a cooler helmet. Bunch of nerds. All right, my number 4 is I'm sticking with the green theme. is the Tulane Wave. I think the Wave is one of the coolest mascots.
Yes.
Like Razorback. Like these are mascots that aren't like common thing. Like somebody got creative and was like, when we're creating this school, we're gonna do something nobody else does. And then the logo actually looks cool. It's old school. Yes.
I'll go ahead and tell you, this is my number one on my list.
Oh my God, is it really?
Yeah. The Green Wave mascot. That's got like the actual wave.
The actual wave
with the baby blue.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Yeah, I love
that. So I'm fine with just like the white with the green, and I like the green with the white logo. Like I like them both. I like them all.
Favorite helmet. Yeah, that is my favorite one. That's number one for me.
Okay.
Number three for me, the standard Iowa Hawkeye helmet.
It's a good look. That is a good looking helmet.
It's a black helmet with the Hawkeye logo on the side.
Yeah. That's a good logo.
It's classic.
Very minimalist, but still really cool.
Oh, yeah. And black and yellow, I mean, obviously, like,
black
I'm
and
a
yellow
Steelers
look
fan,
awesome.
But black and yellow, just as a color scheme, look awesome together.
Yes.
So, obviously,
I'm with it.
You knew I was going to love Iowa. That's my number three.
Yeah. Boise State, their white helmet with the horse. Oh, my God.
With the chrome outline or whatever.
Oh, the white Boise State logo helmet is one of my favorites.
When they wear that and they go like snowed out,
yeah, no,
like
so bad.
That's a gorgeous uniform.
Badass.
It certainly is. Number two for me, and I've already knocked off my number one, so this will be my last one. You got two more.
Got it.
Number two here, North Carolina, the baby blue with the NC logo on it. That's just a classic, beautiful looking helmet. Like I love the design of it. It takes up like that whole side. You ain't got to worry about the stuff that, Ohio State and whoever else puts like on the back of their helmets when they make a big play or whatever. It's just,
I kind of don't like that. Like, I don't like any team that puts extra crap on their helmet.
Oh yeah, obviously I haven't.
Like when
I've put any on here.
I don't either. Yeah, I didn't either. Like when you put it like when you're remembering something or doing something commemorative, that's different. But like seeing all the extra like bones or little notches or Buckeyes on like little I just think, man, you got a shitty helmet. You're just trying to cover it up.
Yeah,
like get a better helmet and you don't have to put all that shit on there.
That makes sense.
My number two was really hard for me because 1 and 2 were the easiest things in the world.
But it was trying to figure out which one was going to be
which one is one. One, classic, boring, traditional helmet in the whole bunch, but it's the best.
Is this the Notre Dame
This
helmet?
is Notre Dame.
Okay. Now you're talking about the chrome?
Just a gold. Just Notre Dame. Just a Notre Dame gold helmet.
Huh.
They use real gold in the paint. It's a real helmet. I love everything about it. It is my absolute. It's probably one. I'm going to go ahead and make that one. I'm going to give you my two after this one. That's my number one. It's the most nostalgic. Notre Dame was the first football game I ever watched in my life. I grew up, grew up in Italian Catholic and in a very Catholic family. In a family that hates football, by the way. Yeah. Nobody in my family likes football. But we watched the Irish when I was little.
Yeah, it's Notre Dame.
And I fell in love with the sport. And so there's that. But I also just think it just shines, man. It looks really good.
It really, yeah.
My number two was my number one on my list, but I'm bumping it down. It's the Ole Miss powder blue. That's that's probably the best looking helmet in all of sports.
Yeah, the powder blue. That's what I meant to call it. I don't know why I put baby blue, but
it's okay.
Because I know why I put baby blue because I put the North Carolina baby blue. No, the powder blue.
The Ole Miss powder blue helmet is unbelievable. I like to get like real deep into the weeds. I like the Ole Miss powder blue helmet with the white jersey, or with the red jersey and the white pants. Or the blue pants. I'm okay. But I like the combo of the red and powder blue together.
I do like that.
That's my favorite. I owned for a short period of time one piece of Ole Miss paraphernalia. I might get it again for this year. I like Ole Miss. It was a powder blue hoodie.
I would like that.
Gave it away as a gift, but
you should have kept that, John.
I really like their powder. So if I own Ole Miss paraphernalia, it's going to be powder blue.
And that makes sense. That would make sense. You want to talk playoff expansion right quick?
Yeah.
We're going to go through. We started this series last week. We're going to end it this week because, of course, a couple weeks ago, the CFP committee explained that they were looking into expansion from 4 teams all the way out from 6, 8, 10, 12, 16 teams. They had 63 different options that they were going to go through. And we're not going to go through all 63 different things, but we're giving you an idea dating back to last week, so you can go back to last week's show and check it out, and then you can check out this week's, obviously. But we did 6 and 8 team options last week. This week we're going to do 10, 12, and 16, and we're going to fly through them a little bit because it's fairly easy to understand. Yeah. But just to give you an idea of what we're looking at, we'll start off with the 10-team playoff. The premise here is the top 2 seeds get byes. You're possibly on campus for the other 4 games that are the 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, whatever. The most amount of games that a team would play in this situation would be 16. And that's if one of the first 2 teams that plays would move all the way to the championship game. And now, that's not as likely, but it is possible, so you never know. We will start off with the different options, right? You could have your top 10 CFP ranked teams, no automatic qualifiers. You could have 5 P5 AQs with 5 wildcards. You could have 5 P5 AQs, which are automatic qualifiers, with 1 G5 automatic qualifier, like whoever the highest ranked team is, and then 4 other wildcards. See, you get where I'm coming from. That's 3 different options right there. You could do AQ for only top 15 ranked Power 5 champions, because then you're getting into rankings again, and it just becomes a whole conspiracy theory, and you got people talking, and that would certainly help the sport. You could have 1 top 15 G5 conference champion. You could have 5 P5, 1 G5. You could have however many G5s are ranked inside the top 15 or whatever. Like, there's a myriad of different ways. To give you an example, and I think, by the way, this might be my favorite out of all these different options.
The way you set the games up, I don't understand at all.
So, the byes, all right? The byes are, they would start out number 1, number 2. Alabama and Clemson would not have to play in the first week. So then you have number 10 against number 7.
Why would you have 10-7?
Because
why would 10 not play 3?
10 would not play 3 because that's a good question.
It would just be a bracket after that.
Yeah, and
then you would reseed every round.
And now if you're talking about reseeding after every round, that's a whole different thing, right?
No.
The way that a bracket would set up would be
I understand
number 1 versus, I guess it'd be against the lower ranked team. Yeah,
it'd just be the lowest ranked team. But you would have to play, like you did 7 versus 10. I don't know why 10 wouldn't play 3. If you made the 3 seed and you had to play the 6 seed instead of the 10 seed, I'd be pissed. Well, what the hell, man?
Check it out. This is based on like NCAA tournament seedings and whatnot. The way that it always sets, 1 plays 8 versus 9, 2 plays 7 versus 10.
No, that's fine.
And I understand where you're coming from.
But you still, 1 plays 7 versus 9, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, 3 should play 10. If you're going to give 1 and 2 a bye, 3's got to play 10.
Yeah, maybe. See, that's something else that we would have to discuss. See, again, so many different options here. I liked this because I thought if you're doing 10 versus 7 and 8 versus 9, because that would technically be your first round, right?
Because if you're 3 and you're 4 and you're playing better teams than the 7 seed, that's bullshit.
You might be right about that. I thought that this would give the smaller schools a chance at a playoff win without having to face number 1 and whatnot.
We're not trying to give things away here. Okay?
No.
It's a meritocracy, and you got to earn it. You got to win it.
Right. But what I'm saying is, as a fan, I think I liked this one because it gave them a better shot.
No, I can't abide by the fact that a 7-seed team, bottom half of this thing, is going to be a favorite in this game, in their game, because they match up against somebody weaker than them when they should be matching up against somebody better than them. You're in the bottom half of this thing, you should be playing somebody better than you, ranked higher than you.
All right, so when they said 63 different options,
but a lot of these options are stupid. It's easy to say, oh, well, yeah, I could throw out 112 bad ideas. Then I can tell you the 3 good ideas.
So if you reseed after each round, 3 would play 10, 4 would play 9, 5 would play 8, 6 would play 7.
Yeah. And that's how it should happen.
And then number 1 plays the lowest rated.
Play the worst ranked team out there.
Boom. So at that point,
done.
The bracket, you have no idea who's playing who after the first.
Well, you don't need to.
Okay.
You don't need to. Is this a playoff or not? It's a playoff, not a bracket. That's a difference. In the NFL, is it a playoff or a bracket? Because in the NFL,
you're right. Yeah.
It doesn't matter who wins. If the wild card team wins, the number 1 seed gets them.
Now, you might have a point there.
But this is why, hang on. The reason I don't like this is because The reason we have this debate and the reason we have this argument is solely because somebody's getting to sit at home and not do shit.
Yeah. Well, now, so we'll move on to the 12 team, and that would be.
Still got people sitting at home not doing shit.
Well, you got more people sitting at home.
I know. I don't like that either.
The
This is
12
my
team,
least favorite of all of them.
Top 4 seeds get buys.
That's insane.
The options, obviously, I'm only going to go through 3 of them. You can have the top 12 CFP ranked teams. You can have that would be no automatic qualifiers.
Yeah.
You could have the 5 P5 AQs, the conference champs, and 7 wild cards. You could have AQ P5 champs and however many top 15 G5 schools. You could have 1 top 15 G5 school. You could have just 1 G5 school. Yep. Any number of things here. You could absolutely set it up. The buys last year would have been number 1, Alabama, number 2, Clemson, 3, Ohio State, 4, Notre Dame, obviously our playoff teams. And then the other 8 teams would have been number 12, Coastal Carolina, at Texas A&M. Number 11.
So this one you did normal. This one
Yes.
you did like a sane person.
Well, this one I set it up more as because all of these teams will be playing, and because there's only 2 buys with the other, that would have been 8 teams. Whatever.
Say they're all playing in the other one too. I don't understand the logic.
The logic was I was setting it up like an actual bracket. As opposed to
you
a
can't
playoff.
do a bracket with buys.
Yeah. Number 11, Indiana at
Throws
number
everything
6. I have totally
It's all right.
botched these. Who was number 6? No, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma was 6.
That's what I did. Okay. It was Indiana at number 6, Oklahoma. Number 10, Florida at number 7, Clemson. That's not right either.
Nope.
I don't know what the hell I did here. Either way, number 10 at number 7, number 8, Georgia at number 9, Cincinnati.
Florida was number 7.
Yeah, Florida was 7.
Number 10 was Iowa State.
Son of a bitch.
It doesn't matter. Let's move on.
Know what I did
Let's
on
go to
this
the this is the worst one out of all of them. So we're not doing this one.
The 12 is a no-go. Number 16.
Perfect.
We'll move on to the 16 team playoff.
This one's perfect.
Yeah, this is the one that you and I are the biggest fans of. I mean, it's very easy, but that's I think it's the easiest one to set up. I think it's the easiest.
I think it's the best one.
It's the most games.
Yes. Who cares?
Because 17 games would be where it comes from. Because you got your 12-game regular season, you got your conference championship game, and then you got 4 playoffs.
No. If you have 16 teams, you're not having conference champions.
So here's another option for the 16 team, right? Another option for that would have been, instead of having conference championship games, there's a possibility that you could have all of the P5 division champions make it to the playoff. And then you have 6 wild cards,
No, I'm not
including
a fan
1
of that.
G5, whatever.
I'm not a fan of that because you're going to end up with like 5 lost division teams.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
I don't know how.
Because that hurts. That you know who would want to put the divisions champs in there?
All the P5 schools.
All the P5 schools.
Yes.
And
But
that
that's
would
how you make up for getting
the crush all of the small schools that deserve a shot. Because realistically, you could get 5 G5 schools in a 16-team playoff, or 6 G5 schools in a 16-team. If you did,
I doubt we'd ever see that many.
Well, you could probably get 5. I bet you could.
I don't know. Not if it's set up the same way that they're doing the CFP right now. But
you have no chance. If you're doing the divisions, you're going to end up with 16 teams, and you're going to end up with 1 G5.
1 G5.
And that, you can't do 16 in 1.
No, you're probably right.
You got to let more into the table at that. So if you do the 16, nobody wants to see a 4-loss team be in there. But every year you have a 4-loss team win their division.
Yeah. Oh, but you could
what do you do with the Big 12 where they don't have divisions?
Well, I mean,
they just get 2 teams in?
There are like 4-loss conference champions every now and then.
I understand
so,
that.
if you're going to toss them in.
No. But you win your conference, you get to play in the tournament.
Yeah, it's
you
a whole
don't get
different
to win your division? What are we talking about?
Yeah, no, you're right.
What are we doing?
There are many options. Obviously, the top 16 ranked teams, no AQs. You could have your 5 P5 AQs and 11 wild cards.
I would do 5 champions. If you're a conference champion in the Power 5, you get in. I don't care if you've got a losing record, but you somehow won.
And one G5?
No, I'm not guaranteed. You can have as many G5s as you want. You have to have at least 1.
That's what I'm saying. You can have 1 G5 AQ?
You basically only have 6 automatic qualifiers, and that's it. And what I would rather see is them acknowledge a Power 6 and have 6 automatic AQs and 1 G4 automatic in. That would get set because you're talking 16 teams. You can't take 7 spots away and then let the wild cards go to the other best teams.
Yeah.
You still have
the
9 other
teams.
teams that you can pick from to invite to this thing.
Here is what it would have looked like last season. All right, so we've already been over some of these. Number 16, BYU at number 1, Alabama.
BYU getting in. It's a huge deal.
That would have actually been fun to
Been
watch.
a huge deal.
Number 9, Georgia at number 8, Cincinnati. We talked about that one already. Number 13, Northwestern at number 4, Notre Dame.
I actually think that would have been an awesome game.
I thought it would have been a lot of fun.
I think it would have been an awesome game we missed out on.
Now, I will tell you this. I switched these up. Northwestern was actually number 14, and North Carolina was number 13. But I swapped those because we would have had a rematch of North Carolina and Notre Dame and a rematch of Northwestern and Ohio State. So you swap one place.
The committee would have done that too, by the way, because they pay attention to this shit.
Oh, yeah. So Northwestern at Notre Dame would have been cool. Coastal Carolina at A&M. We already talked about that. Number 15, Iowa at number 2, Clemson.
That would have been an awesome game.
I
would have liked to have seen that game.
Yes.
I think Clemson still wins, but I bet that's the best fight Clemson has the whole year outside of going to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I agree. Number 10, Iowa State against number 7, Florida. Then you have number 14, who I said, North Carolina at number 3, Ohio State. I think that would have been fun because remember, that Ohio State defense had major trouble
stopping the run.
And not only the run, just everything. That secondary had some major issues.
Yeah.
So, and against North Carolina, I mean, they had weapons all over the field. That could have been a really high-scoring game. And then finally, number 11, Indiana at number 6, Oklahoma. That is what I would like to see.
Yes, this is the perfect offer. I don't know that it needs to necessarily go 1 through 16 in the rankings because I'm okay if you win your conference, you deserve a spot in the top 16. You just do.
Well, in the top 16 or in the top half?
Well, no, I don't know. No, you don't necessarily get to be seated that way. No,
okay, so I wasn't sure.
You just have to be in there. So you can have 4 losses. You win your conference. You're going to be the 16th seed,
but it may not be a home
But you get invited.
Yeah, it may not be a home game.
You don't get to be a home team just because you got there. But we're letting you in. In no other world would you have gotten in.
That's
no
very
other
true.
world. Your ass would have been sitting at home.
I like it. That's going to wrap it up. Anything you want to toss in at the end of it?
Let's get out of here.
Let's do it. All right, let's talk FCS playoffs, and we are pumped about it. Obviously, we are down to only 2. We'll go through the recap right quick. Let's discuss that. The Delaware Blue Hens headed to the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, and
this one hurt my feelings.
We both bet on Delaware. We thought that their defense would have been able to kind of stymie South Dakota State a little bit, and we were incredibly wrong.
Not only did their defense last time, golly, their offense couldn't do a damn thing, Gary.
The first half, the Jackrabbits scored touchdowns on their final 4 possessions of the first half. They were up 28-3. This was as one-sided as it gets. The team totals here, Delaware's was 14.5. They only scored 3. Obviously, that went under. And South Dakota State's was 21.5. They scored 33. That one went over. The closing line was South Dakota State -7 with a total of 38. The analytics had it. You're going to love this, by the way.
I'm not.
36.55 is what the analytics had the total being. And they had the final score was 33-3, which is 36 points. So the analytics were pretty much dead on the number. Like you can't be half a point off, right? I mean, you can with analytics, but you can't score half a point in a game.
Score half a point, yeah.
But yeah, now they said the score would be 23-13. The analytics had it -9.6. The closing line was 7. They covered. Analytics were right on it
a lot. So the stat that freaked me out, I sent you this. Halftime. At halftime, Delaware's losing 27-3. Time of possession, Delaware had the ball for 21.5 minutes. North Dakota State had it for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
that's insane. And they were getting beat like a drum.
Yeah. I mean, they were giving up big plays. It was just ridiculous.
It's so disappointing.
The glaring difference at the line of scrimmage was the difference in this game. South Dakota State had 7 sacks, 51 yards in losses, 5 more tackles for another 10 yards in losses. Delaware did not record a sack. They had 2 tackles for 3 yards in losses. That was it. I mean, basically South Dakota State was leaning forward the entire ballgame. Yep. So it was just a whipping. And sometimes you get those in these games, man. It is what it is. Moving on, the second game was the best game, obviously, of the weekend.
It was a great game, and it was a shocker ending to me.
It was a shocker the whole game, I thought.
Yeah, okay.
It was a game of swings.
Yeah.
And it was like just madness.
It was fun.
James Madison went to Sam Houston, and Sam Houston won 38-35. The totals here, James Madison team total was 23. They scored 35. They went over. Sam Houston's team total, 24. They scored 38. They went over. The closing line, it opened with Sam Houston being favored by like a point.
Yeah.
It closed with James Madison being favored by 2 points. I bet James Madison.
I got him at a pick 'em.
Check out this projection. Now, we talked about this last week. Sam Houston State was projected to win this game minus 2.31.
I know.
The closing line total was 47. The analytics here, 47.66. So it projected to go over the 47. I did bet the over 47.
I didn't touch it.
And it went over, obviously. We scored in the 70s here, 38-35. But this was bananas. Sam Houston was down 24-3 at the half. And then you come out, they scored 4 touchdowns in a span of 5 minutes and 6 seconds in the third and fourth quarters.
Boom, boom.
They were down 27-10 and then took a 38-27 lead. It was insane. The Bearcats held on to improve to 16-0 all-time at home in playoff games.
Pretty incredible. I didn't like it.
Well, I mean,
I have picked against Sam Houston State all the way through this thing.
I did not think that they were as good as they have.
I don't think I picked them one time. Not to cover a spread, not to win a game, not nothing.
No. I mean, Eric Schmid, the
It's
quarterback for Sam Houston State, hell of a player. He made some massive big plays.
Well, yeah.
He was 6 of 17.
To score 4 touchdowns in 6 minutes, you got to make big plays.
Yeah, he was 6 of 17 in the first half passing for like 40-something yards, 50-something yards.
I would say it was less than 100. I know that.
He completed 6 passes of at least 15 yards and 4 times carried the ball over 10 yards, including a go-ahead 20-yard touchdown to end the third quarter and an 11-yard scoring run early in the fourth that ended the
hell
scoring.
of a performance by him.
Yes.
Hell of a performance.
It was, I will tell you this. I did not believe in Sam Houston, but props to him.
Now, what are we doing now?
Let's go on and talk about the preview for the FCS Playoff Championship game. Like I said at the beginning, 20,500 fans in Frisco, Texas at Toyota Stadium. Allotments have been sold out. We are going to have a full raucous crowd, and I'm stoked. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, May 16th, on ABC. Projection is South Dakota State 25-20. The total, the analytics have 44.72. They have South Dakota State winning by 5.07 points. The team totals, South Dakota State 24.5, Sam Houston 21.5. The line is the Jackrabbits -4 with a total of 47.5. What do you think?
I've been so wrong with Sam Houston State every step of the way. This Jackrabbits defense is not a joke.
I will tell you this. The Sam Houston defensive line is legit. They're absolutely legit. They shut down North Dakota State's running game. So could I see them winning? Absolutely. I think the South Dakota State team is the best team in the FCS right now.
I do too. I think they're the most complete team from top to bottom.
I think I'm going to take. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to take South Dakota State to win.
Yeah, I'm not getting off my Jackrabbits.
Yeah, I'm going to take them to cover the 4. I think that they can completely. We saw Eric Schmid completely stifled in that first half against James Madison, who is a good defensive team.
They're not close to this Jackrabbits team.
I don't think this Jackrabbits team is quick on that back 7.
They're really, really fast.
They're
ball hawkers. You make a mistake, they're going to take the ball away. You're going to lose possessions. You're not just going to get downs, incompletions. They're going to get extra possessions.
Well, and here's the other side. Sam Houston, it kind of relies on the other team to make mistakes. South Dakota State doesn't make mistakes.
Well, they don't do anything to really make mistakes. Now, I kind of hate that. I want them to be – I don't want them to make mistakes, but I want them to take chances.
Yeah.
But I guess when you have a defense like that, you don't really take a lot of chances. You just play the game straight. You play it safe, and then you hope your team comes out on the top end, and it has every game this year except for one.
Yeah. I'm going South Dakota State.
Me too.
I'm going to get them to cover.
I knew I was going to do it before I saw the number.
I like Mark Gronowski.
Glad it was small.
I was kind of hoping to be around 3. Obviously, those key numbers.
Yeah,
like
but,
that. But
Sam Houston State, if they keep pulling off the wins, it's not going to matter.
No, you're right about
Therein
that.
lies the
I'll
issue.
go ahead and tell you this. As far as totals go, I'm going to take over on South Dakota State's team total, 24.5.
Okay. That's probably right, by the way.
And
I think I'm okay with that.
I might take under on Sam Houston's.
So you think there's going to be a big separation of points?
No, I'm just saying I could see like 27-20. This kind of feels like
before I would take the Jackrabbits over, I would take Sam Houston's under strictly because this defense is just not giving up a lot of points.
Now, you're right
to
about
anybody.
that. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna play team totals. But I'm not gonna touch that 47.5.
No,
because that's the score I keep seeing in my head.
There's a world where the Jackrabbits hold this thing to, 10 points, and then hell, they just beat you, 13-10.
Yeah. I mean, you're 100% right about that. So I'm going to take the over on South Dakota State's points. I'm going to take the under on Sam Houston's points because I see in my head a 27-20 game, and if that total is sitting at 47.5,
you miss it.
I miss it by half a point.
Yeah,
so
miss it by the hook.
that's the way I'm rolling.
I'm just going to take my Jackrabbits and hope that one time Sam Houston State doesn't bite me.
This is our last chance to gamble on college football for a few months now.
Couple of months.
It is what it is. All right. Anything else we need to hit on?
That's it, brother.
You guys have been fantastic. Thank you for hanging out with us for yet another week. If you would do us a favor, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. We're shooting for 100,000 subscribers by the time college football season starts, FBS season in September. So that's what we're shooting for. If you would, share the show out, tell your friends about it, like this video, get us up to 50 likes on it so the algorithm will start boosting the junt out of the thing. That would certainly help for sure. Jump into the comments. We would appreciate hearing from you. Let us know what you think about the show, what you think about our picks, what you think about everything, and what topics you want us to hit on, whatever. If you don't want to do it on the YouTube comments, that's okay. You can reach out to us on Twitter. I am at GaryWCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
And we are going to go ahead and get out of your hair. So, for sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
And we will see you again next week.